All right, hi.
Just you can just tell why do you think it's important to spread awareness about mental health?
All right. I think it's extremely important to spread awareness for mental health because of the fact that everybody suffers from this kind of stuff. And I know that personally, I suffer from PTSD, anxiety, depression, that kind of stuff. And it's always helpful to have other people around me knowing about that kind of stuff. That way not only they could help me, but I could help somebody else who's been in my situation. Like, for example, I actually am a musician. I just wrote a song and I just released it a few days ago, yesterday, but and I wanted to do it purely because I want people to, like, connect with that kind of stuff, and I want to help out others. And I think that spreading awareness for mental health is extremely important. It's just like spreading awareness for STDs or teen pregnancies or anything like that, because again, everybody at some point struggles with it, and if they know that they have somebody who could be there for them, it helps out so much in the long run.
Okay, that was really nice. And if you don't mind sharing, like things you go through, I mean, if you're comfortable sharing.
As I said earlier, I have PTSD, depression, anxiety. I suffer from a lot of panic attacks, a lot of not being able to get out of bed sometimes, and a lot of, just like stuff that goes along with that. I'm also a victim of sexual abuse. So a lot of my PTSD is driven off of that, but a lot of the times I will go through a lot of panic attacks, and it's always great to have somebody who's in my life who's able to help me through that, because sometimes I feel like I'm alone. And, having friends and people there to support me is always something that I've really, really been appreciative of, I guess, in a way. Music is the same exact way for me. I mean, it's just a way for me to cope with my own stuff, and also to give out a helping hand to anybody else who may have suffered through the same exact thing that I suffered through. That way they don't feel so alone in this world.
That was really nice. I suffer through a lot of things too. Like, I've been a victim of sexual abuse too.
It sucks.
It was really bad, yeah. Like, it was on the street and no one was there to help me. Like, people were looking, but no one did anything for me. So I feel you.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah, mine was with an ex-boyfriend. That was just not fun. And I mean, it is what it is. I've dealt with it. I still have anxiety attacks here and there from it, but it's nothing that I've not overcome. So.
And you said you write music, and is that how you get your inspiration from? If you could elaborate a little bit on that.
Yeah. So my music, I write a lot of songs about breakups and just feeling, well, most of my songs are about breakups and how they've affected me mentally. And I guess I use that not only as a coping tool, but also a tool to help out others who feel the same exact way or have felt as if they're not good enough for somebody, or that, somebody stripped them so much of who they are. And I use that as my own coping tool. I felt like that's been helping me through the years of going through anxiety, mental health issues, all that kind of stuff, and actually producing it and sitting there and releasing it for me has been a huge step in order to kind of achieve what I wanted to, which was making sure that everybody feels more welcome in this world, and that they're not the only person who's had to deal with this kind of stuff, and they're not the only person who is going through that, and that somebody, even if you don't know them, is there for you, regardless if anybody else is. And that's really what music has done for me through all of this, not even my own writing, but other artists like Halsey and Maggie Rogers and Del Watergap and churches and Oh Wonder, they've all kind of shown me, oh, and Amy Winehouse, but they've all kind of shown me that I'm not as alone as I feel, and that there will always be somebody there, even if they're not physically there. There's always going to be somebody there for you, and that's what I wanted to really hone in on with my own audience, with my own music.